Hey folks, welcome all to the most enthralling Science Scamper series for classes 6 to 8 by Educatip. And I am your super science teacher Ambika. At Educatip, we always empower all our students as how to learn and how to think, not what to think. So, if you want to experience the same, then do ensure to subscribe the Educatip YouTube channel. The subscription button is given just below, guys. If you like our video, ensure to hit the like button and don't forget to press the bell icon so that you can get all the latest updates from Educatip. Now, let's start today's session, and the topic for the day is components of food. In this module, we are going to cover the following things. What are nutrients? Role of different nutrients in our body. What should be taken as a balanced diet? How to retain the nutritional value of food? Deficiency diseases, undernourishment, and last but not the least, overnourishment. Now let's move ahead. Nutrient. What do we mean by this word nutrient? Whenever we eat something, maybe dal, chapati, rice, fruits, vegetables, even a pizza or a burger, we have that we are getting something from that food item. We are getting either calories, we are either getting energy. So that energy or that calories are delivered in our body in which form or through what? That energy or calories is being delivered in our body through a particular substance which is known as nutrient. So nutrient is a substance used by an organism to survive, grow and reproduce. That means nutrient are actually that form of energy which is supplied by the food item that we have eaten. And that nutrient only works in our body for providing energy, for doing all the physical labor work, everything. Now there are different types of nutrients present in different food items. Now let's move ahead and see. We have 7 major nutrients present in our food, like carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals, water and roughage. So these are the 7 most important nutrients in our food. We are going to study each one of them in complete detail. So let's start with the first one, and that is carbohydrates. Now carbohydrates, as the name suggests, are something which is made up of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, the 3 most important non-metals. Carbohydrates are also known as energy-giving food because they provide us with a lot of energy. Now, carbohydrate is majorly found in 3 forms in our food items, that is starch, cellulose and sugar. In human beings, the first and the third form, that is starch and sugar, are easily digested, absorbed and assimilated. Now let's understand them in a little detail. So these two, starch and sugar, is easily digested and absorbed in human beings, but this middle one form, that is cellulose, is something which humans cannot digest. It is generally present in grasses. And you know that the domestic animals, basically like cow, buffalo, then your goat, sheep, these are the animals which are actually consuming, the herbivore animals which are actually consuming these grasses. So they have an ability to digest cellulose in their stomach because they contain a particular organ in their stomach which is known as rumen. And because of this rumen, they are able to digest the carbohydrates in the form of cellulose. And that is why these organisms are also known as ruminants, because of the presence of this organ. Now let's move ahead. What are the major sources of carbohydrates? So we have banana, sugar, jaggery, potato, all are very good sources of carbohydrate. And other than this, you have even rice, which is a very good source of carbohydrate, wheat. Now, requirement of carbohydrates, that means how much carbohydrate should be consumed in a day. almost 45% to 65% of calories should come from carbohydrates. Now, for example, if in a day you are consuming 100 calories, then out of those 100 calories, 45 to 65 calories should be from the source of carbohydrates. Now, these carbohydrate sources or carbohydrate is majorly required for those people who are doing more of the physical labor, like sports persons. Sports persons, that means your athletes, your footballers, cricketers, your lawn tennis players, your badminton players, they are doing a lot of physical work, you know, running here and there and playing, sweating a lot. So they are doing a lot of physical labor work. And in fact the laborers, जो मजदूर आपको दिखाई देते हैं कंस्ट्रक्शन साइट्स पे काम करते हुए, दिन में बोझा उठाते हुए, सामान उठाते हुए, so they are also doing a lot of physical labor work. बहुत ज़्यादा बॉडी से मेहनत करते हैं तब काम होता है. So those kind of people requires more of the carbohydrate because you know carbohydrates are also energy giving foods. Now moving ahead, the next nutrient we are going to discuss is proteins. Proteins are also known as body building food because they help in the growth of muscles as well as hair and nails. Other than that, proteins are also very important for the repair of body cells. That means if you get injured and there is a wound at your body, if you are taking proper protein in your diet, the healing of that particular injury or wound will be very fast and on time. So because protein helps in repairment of body cells plus in generation of new body cells. So that is why protein is very important. Now, what are the sources of proteins? So as we have discussed in the last module, if you people remember, that ingredients are obtained from two basic sources, either plants or animals. So similar is the case with nutrients also because they are present in food items in ingredients only. So protein has two ways of sources. One is plant proteins and the other is animal proteins. So first we are going to discuss about plant proteins. Plant proteins, the sources are like soya bean, pulses, peanut, then your almonds, आपके जो बादाम होते हैं, walnut, अखरोट. If we talk about animal proteins, then definitely we have meat and all the meat products like bacon, pork, beef. Then you have fish, eggs, milk. Very good source of protein, children, and ensure to have a good amount of protein in your diet. Now, requirement of proteins. How much protein is required in a day? So, an adult like me requires almost 50 to 60 grams of protein per day. That means in my diet, at least 50 to 60 grams of protein per day should be included. Now, other than that, growing children like you people are in the stage of growing because you are in the teenage. So, you also require a lot of protein in your diet, but in an appropriate amount, and it should be taken on a regular basis. Now, the third most important nutrient is fats. Now, fats is something which is the richest source of energy. Fats even provide more energy than carbohydrates. But along with this, there should always be a conscious or a cautious state of mind while taking fats. Fats are also known as energy banks because whatever we consume in the form of fat gets stored in our body. Like we used to go and deposit money and essential valuables in the bank, they get stored over there. Similarly, fats also get stored in our body in the form of energy, which can be used later on. That is why fats are known as energy banks. Other than that, fats helps keeps our body warm, acts as shock absorbers and protect us from injury. Suppose we fall down, and sometimes it happens that we have fallen down and we get a sprain or maybe a hairline fracture immediately. Why it happens? Maybe because fats are a little less in our body. Fats protect the internal organs of the body, and that is why it is extremely essential. Now, sources of fats, as we have discussed the sources of proteins from plants and animal sites, similar we are going to discuss in case of fats. In case of plant fats, the sources are sunflower, groundnut, mustard, coconut, that is your nariyal, olive, zaitun. Now, in case of animal fats, we have meat, fish, eggs, milk and ghee. Very easy to find out and very easy the intake as well, but again be very careful that how much it has to be consumed. Now, the requirement of fats. An adult like me requires about 75 grams of fat per day. Now, this 75 grams can be reduced to 70 grams also. It will not make much difference, but it should not increase to 85 or 90 or 100 grams, because taking fats in a larger quantity can cause a lot of other health issues plus a kind of a weight gain, which is not a healthy idea altogether. Now, again, the requirement increases in the case of laborers and sportspersons because they are doing a lot of physical work. So, they require a lot of energy, and that means the consumption of fat should also be more. Now, the next nutrient is vitamins and minerals. So, vitamins and minerals are also known as protective foods because they protect our body from a lot of diseases and germs. They also keep our bones, teeth and gums healthy, along with eyes. They are found in fruits, vegetables, milk, seafood, salt, etc. Some action-packed info, guys, very important for you, note it down. Vitamin B comprises 8 distinctive vitamins. Vitamin B1, B2, B3, B5, B7, B9 and B12. That is why vitamin B is referred to as vitamin B complex, because it is made up of all these 8 parts. It constitutes 8 parts, and these 8 vitamins together known as vitamin B complex. Now, the last nutrients, that is water and roughage. Water is something very essential because 70% mass of our body is water. Whatever is your body weight, 70% of it in your body is water. So, if you are not consuming water in right amount regularly, you will suffer from different problems, maybe dehydration, weakness and etc. etc. It also maintains our body temperature. That means the temperature of our body is maintained by the water which is present inside our body. Excretion of waste materials in the form of sweat and urine is extremely important, and it happens because of the presence of water. If you are not consuming water, you will not get sweat and you will not feel for urination as well, which will eventually lead to a lot of problem in your body because the harmful or toxic substances will not be removed out. If we talk about roughage, in that case, roughage are also known as dietary fibers. They help in retaining water in the body. आपकी body में पानी की एक normal quantity बनी रहे, उसमें भी roughage help करता है. Then it also helps to get rid of undigested food. You know that when we consume food, some part of it is digested and absorbed, but some part remains undigested. So to get remove of the undigested food, dietary fibers or roughage are very important. You can have good sources of roughage like spinach, cabbage. So always eat them in your salad or in the vegetable form. Now let's move ahead. Balanced diet. A diet containing the right proportions of carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins, minerals, water and roughage. That means everything in right proportion. That particular diet is known as a balanced diet. It should not be like that you are only consuming carbohydrates as they are energy giving foods, or you are only consuming fats because they are energy banks, or you are consuming only proteins and carbohydrates and not vitamins and minerals or water and roughage. That diet cannot be considered as balanced. So as the name suggests, balanced means जिसका संतुलन सही बना हुआ हो, और संतुलन कब सही बनेगा? जब आप सारे न्यूट्रिएंट्स को उसमें प्रॉपर क्वांटिटी में इंक्लूड करेंगे. So that kind of diet is something, children, that you should ensure to take. Now let's move ahead. How to retain the nutritional value of food. हम अपने खाने की जो न्यूट्रिशनल वैल्यू है उसे कैसे मेंटेन रख सकते हैं, उसके लिए हमें कुछ बेसिक चीज़ें करनी होती हैं. लाइक फॉर एग्जाम्पल, Always wash your fruits and vegetables before cutting them. कभी भी फल और सब्जियों को धोने से पहले नहीं काटना चाहिए. आप उन्हें पहले वॉश करें, वाटर को ड्रेन आउट हो जाने दें, वाइप देम आउट, मेक देम ड्राई एंड देन कट देम. So that, because after cutting, if you wash them, then some of the nutrients wash away with water. Then other than that, retain the skin of fruits whenever possible. जब भी आप फल खा रहे हैं, अगर आप छिलका हटाए बिना फल खा सकते हैं, then you should go for it, because almost all the vitamins and minerals in the fruits are present in the skin of the fruit. Like for example, some people generally remove the skin of apple. वो एप्पल को छील के खाएंगे, उसका छिलका हटा के खाएंगे, which is per se not required. So we should tend to avoid that. Then you should include salad in your meal. Try to have salad in your meal because salad is something which is having raw vegetables and it provides a lot of nutrients, minerals and vitamins. And the last but not the least, use minimum water for cooking. That means when you are cooking dal or vegetable or any other food product, ensure that you are putting only that much water which is required. Not that you are putting extra water, because with that extra water, when the water will comes to boiling, it will also boil up the nutrients which are present in your food item. Now let's see ahead. Deficiency diseases. Now deficiency diseases are basically those diseases which occur when a diet lacks in a particular nutrient. For example, अगर आप सिर्फ ऐसी डाइट खा रहे हैं जिसमें कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स हैं, प्रोटीन्स हैं, फैट्स हैं, बट देयर आर नो विटामिन्स एंड मिनरल्स, यू विल सफ़र फ्रॉम डेफिशिएंसी डिजीजेस, क्योंकि आप में कई सारे विटामिन्स की, कई सारे मिनरल्स की कमी हो जाएगी. तो जब शरीर में कई सारे विटामिन्स और मिनरल्स की कमी होती है, then we suffer from these deficiency diseases. Now these deficiency diseases can be many, like vitamin D से rickets होता है, vitamin D की deficiency से, deficiency of vitamin C leads to scurvy, deficiency of iron leads to anemia, deficiency of iodine leads to goiter. So there are many. Now, undernourishment. If you are not taking a balanced diet, that means you are not consuming all the nutrients which are required. The absorption of nutrients in your body is very poor. That means you are eating, but everything is getting removed out of your body in the form of fecal matter. The food item is not being absorbed in your body, or there are loss of nutrients from your body. The body will become lean, thin, weak, and you don't have a good immunity power as well. So in that case, that condition is known as undernourishment. Very harmful, very scary. Should not happen. And now the next thing is overnourishment. Excessive intake of nutrients. That means if only 45 calories should be from carbohydrate, as we have discussed, and you are taking 100 calories completely from carbohydrate, then that is something excessive intake. You are not required, but you are having it. So that should be avoided because it will lead to a lot of weight increment. Your weight will increase, and if your weight will increase, you will have a lot of other diseases, plus you will suffer from a particular problem which is called obesity. Obesity is something you are not required to eat because your body doesn't want it, but mentally and you have a craving for eating food and you will keep on eating. So it becomes a vicious cycle. You are keep on eating, your weight is increasing, you are still eating, weight is increasing. So that is why avoid taking extra nutrients. Excessive intake, बहुत ज़्यादा intake nutrients का नहीं होना चाहिए किसी भी condition में. Very important guys, action packed info, red light watch words. You have to see that you are consuming these products maybe once in a month, or even try to avoid them completely because they are not at all healthy. Soda, chips, ice cream, fried foods, your processed foods, mac and cheese, white bread, pizza. Avoid them, children. They are extremely unhealthy and they are going to affect your health in the future. So avoid them. Okay children, with this we have come to the end of this super amazing session, and I know that you all must have liked our video a lot. So it's time to press the like button. If you have not subscribed to the Educative YouTube channel, the subscription button is just given below guys. Press it and do subscribe so that you can get all the latest updates from us. Now it's time for your super science teacher Ambika to sign out. Till the time we meet again, be safe, be healthy and keep enriching yourself with Educative. Bye-bye.